East-West Highway is a double carriageway linking Jeli, Kelantan in the east and Gerik Perak in the west. With 115 kilometers, the highway shortened the distance between the east coast and west coast of the peninsula. The road was built in the midst of the Cold War when insurgents of Communist Party of Malaya or CPM hid in the jungle and launched guerrilla attacks toward Malaysian security forces. Mountainous terrain, frequent landslide and flood and surprise attacks by the insurgents delay the completion of the highway. In this video, there will be another road that was built throughout the time, was built to achieve the victory other than the physical road where people can see today. Let's take a drive through the mountain range and listen to the story of how East-West Highway was built between Gerik Perak in this way up to Jeli to Kelantan in this way. This is East-West Highway. The west coast and the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia is divided by Titi Wangsa Range in the middle. The mountainous range hindered the construction of road and railway connecting the two coasts due to the soft soil, difficult terrain and high construction costs. Based on the Japanese wartime map published in the year 1942, there were already existing jungle paths linking Kelantan and Perak. For example, from Gua Musang to Sungai Siput and Bertam to Temenggo. And what makes the East-West Highway so challenging is that the project need to be built without this preceding jungle path. Start from scratch. East-West Highway is gazetted as Federal Route Number 4. It's a federal route linking Pasir Putih, Kelantan to Butterworth in Penang. Gerik Kulim stretch was built later and completed in the year 2004 where the road meet Butterworth Kulim Expressway or BKE in Lunas Kedah. In this video, only the Jeli Gerik stretch will be highlighted as this stretch is the most important part in the whole East-West Highway. In 1964, the East-West Highway project was announced by the then Deputy Prime Minister Tun Abdul Razak Hussein. The project was officially launched in Tersat Hulu Terengganu, Terengganu. Wait. Why was the officiating ceremony, the opening ceremony, is held in Terengganu but the highway is located far away up north in Kelantan? The original East-West Highway should link Tersat in Hulu Terengganu to Sungai Siput in Perak, optimizing the existing jungle tracks used by orang asli deep in the jungle. I talk about the original East-West Highway which is revived today as the second East-West Highway in the previous video. The link for this video can be appeared here in 1 and 2 and the new road is wide enough that in the parliamentary handset in May 1964, the project was called Jalan Besar dari Timur ke Barat or Main Road from East to West. And if you have a free time, you might randomly read some parliamentary handset which is free and open for the public and might find some historic moments such as what happened in 7 August 2018 where a member of parliament from Sabah loudly yelled "F you." And later, the project was moved northward as a strategic link between Kelantan and Perak. The link across the jungle aimed to speed up the military deployment to the Black Area and to cut the communication lines of CPM insurgents, the communists. The East-West Highway was relaunched by the Prime Minister Tunku Abdul Rahman in the year 1967 and the revised alignment will link Kelantan and Perak, reduce the distance between Penang Port in Butterworth and Kota Baru from 950 kilometers to 325 kilometers. However, the construction of the East-West Highway was bumpy even before the first shovel hit the ground. During the early years of Malaysian insurgencies, Ulu Perak district in the northern Perak was designated as a black area. Black area is an area, often a district where there were active communist insurgents activities in the area, causing fear among the locals. Communist Party of Malaya hide in the jungle to avoid detection by the Malaysian authorities, including Hulu Perak district, where the transport and communication were so difficult. By taking advantages of the neighbouring Thailand in the north, which happened to play the diplomatic chess between the Western countries and also the communist countries to protect its independence. CPM found refuge in southern Thailand, knowing that the Thai authorities were less likely to crush them, as Thailand also faced its own communist insurgencies nearby the border with Laos and Cambodia. The early years of construction of East-West Highway is deadly, and the construction progress were really slow due to the repeated attacks and sabotages by the CPM. On the 21st of May 1974, a group of communist sabotagers destroyed 63 heavy machines. Later, on 27th of August 1974, another attack on this site killed 3 public works workers and destroyed more heavy machineries. Therefore, construction workers live in the military camps either in the Jeli in the east or in Kuala Rui in the west, with the smaller camps to accommodate workers far from the main camps. Without the military presence, the construction of the East-West Highway is next to impossible. That is why there are 2 military camps on both ends of the highway, Batu Melintang Camp in Jeli and Kuala Rui Camp in Bersia, near Greek. In addition, there were security checkpoints every kilometer along the highway, but only 2 are still in use today. In 1971, the Security and Development Program, or better known as KESBAN or Keselamatan and Pembangunan in Malay language, was formulated as a policy to combat communism in Malaysia. KESBAN policy focused on the political participation of the people, economic and social development, improving public relations between the government and the people, and the good old guns and weapons. Building the road across the mountain could hit multiple KESBAN objectives, bolstering military strength in the jungle, improving the communication between both coasts, and encouraging economic growth. Okay, let's talk about the road. East-West Highway was called highway due to its wideness, which is wider than the standard road built at that time. The highway was constructed with Super 2 specification, which is common in Europe and Australia, where the road is needed to be wide, but there is not enough money and traffic to justify the need of 4 lanes. The road is wider than most of the roads constructed in the late 1970s and 1980s to allow wide military vehicles to use the road smoothly. Lorries, armored personnel carriers or APCs, infantry fighting vehicle IFV, and tanks. Driver who use the road will notice that the bridges above the Temenggo Lake is quite narrow without emergency lane in the left, commonly found in the newer bridges. That is because the East-West Highway was built before the Technical Instruction Road, or in Malay, Arahan Teknik Jalan, was issued in the year 1987. The road was constructed by Department of Public Works due to several factors. High cost and risk hindered the participation of private contractors, a tight budget, and also security factor. Due to difficult terrain, logistical hardship, and attacks from the communist insurgents, the construction cost was increased from 85 million ringgit to 395.2 million ringgit. After 12 years of construction, the East-West Highway was completed in the year 1982, and the public were only allowed to use the road within a convoy escorted by an army. In addition, any public who wanted to use East-West Highway need to apply a security permit before being allowed to join the convoy. The highway was open between 6 AM until 7 PM every day and closed to traffic at night. Then the security permit requirement was repealed in the year 1983, but the public must travel in a convoy on a daylight still. Most of the YouTubers, the YouTube videos will end the story of the East-West Highway when the highway construction was finished in the year 1982. Malaysian Armed Forces were victorious, CPM was defeated, and peace returned to land. Not in this channel, because we should remember that to win a battle, hard power alone is not enough. Hard power means physical military strength, such as the number of armies, types of gun used, supply, the number of bullets, supply, and rockets and tanks. In the early 1970s, the mighty United States of America was exhausted and slowly retreated from Vietnam, fighting the Vietnamese equipped with obsolete weapons and lesser war machines. And remember that US has many war machines that North Vietnam did not have. For example, military planes, fancy fighter jets, aircraft carriers, and of course, nuclear weapons. Therefore, in order to win the battle against the Communist Party of Malaya, there were diplomatic approaches to cut off external support to the insurgents and strengthen the legitimacy of Malaysia as the sovereign state all over the world. In the old Malaysian passport issued in the year 1967, the list of banned countries to travel were communist states as listed in the picture. If you notice that the passport travel ban to Israel was enforced in the year 1969 was added just ad hoc, just a stamp. Malaysia started the diplomatic relations with the communist countries with the principle of non-aligned. Non-aligned is a principle that a country is not sided with any of these major powers, especially during the Cold War, where there were United States and also USSR. In simpler words, the state is sovereign. We can be friends with everyone as long as you leave us alone. Malaysia started to open the diplomatic relations to the communist states, starting with Union of Soviet and Socialist Republics, followed by the recognition of the Eastern Bloc countries of Bulgaria, Romania and Hungary. After Malaysia joined a non-aligned movement or NAM in the year 1970, the country extended the friendship to more communist countries such as Poland, Mongolia, Czech Republic, at that time Czechoslovakia, North Vietnam, which is the predecessor of unified Vietnam today, Cuba and Albania. Malaysia recognized North Korea on the 30th of June 1973, and between 2009 and until 2017, Malaysians were allowed to visit North Korea without a visa. However, the diplomatic ties between Malaysia and North Korea broke off on 19th of March 2021 due to extradition of North Korean to the United States on the money laundering charges. Malaysia recognized People's Republic of China here on the 31st of May 1974 and broke off the official diplomatic ties with Taiwan on the same day due to the vague international principle of one China policy, which a country need to choose to either to side with Beijing or side with Taipei. Interestingly, the foreign minister who broke off ties with the North Korea and called China big brothers is the same person in the same year. Mending ties with China is the most important of all diplomatic ties with the communist states. There are two major impacts when Malaysia befriended People's Republic of China in the year 1974. Number one, diplomatic ties mean endorsement to Malaysia's cause. Paramount leader of China, Chairman Mao Zedong, was hesitant to withdraw the support to Communist Party of Malaya, but it was reported that he later said to Tun Razak, the Prime Minister at the time, "This is your internal problem, internal matter, and it's for you to deal with. China will not interfere in the internal affairs of Malaysia." In common folks' word, just do whatever you can, whatever you want to maintain the order in the country. As a result, the support of CPM diminished both within Malaysia and abroad. Only about 2,000 CPM members remained throughout the 1980s, and the remaining members were slowly aging with barely any new recruitment. And number two, the affirmation of single citizenship. Before the establishment of People's Republic of China in the year 1949, the country was ruled by the Republic of China, which is only in power in Taiwan nowadays. Until 2011, Republic of China, which is Taiwan, allowed Chinese living overseas to have the Chinese nationality and Chinese passport, Taiwanese passport. However, when Communist People's Republic of China took over the power, the government only allowed single citizenship and not allowing dual citizenship due to loyalty. Due to Malaysia's recognition of People's Republic of China in the year 1974, the dual nationality issues were solved because both countries are not allowing dual citizenship. Beijing affirmed that Chinese who had other citizenship is no longer a Chinese citizen, which means that anyone lives in Malaysia is a Malaysian. Thus, it is up to Malaysian authorities to take action in its own jurisdiction. This highway was built with efforts and sacrifices, literally sacrifices, just with hope that the future generations can use the road with ease, saving the time, fuel and money, improving the life for everyone involved throughout this route. Furthermore, lest we forget that Malaysians, regardless of ethnicity, Malays, Chinese, Indian, Bumiputras of Sabah and Sarawak, and other ethnicities who fought for Malaysia, with a vision that everyone will be able to live together without a fear of insurgents lurking in the jungle. Lack of recognition abroad and lack of internal support caused Communist Party of Malaya to agree for an armistice in the year 1989. With the signing of the Hat Yai Agreement in 1989, in Hat Yai, Thailand, Communist Party of Malaya agreed to drop their weapons, effectively ending the insurgencies. Thus, no more surprise attacks at night. The night curfew was lifted since 1989, and East-West Highway has been open to all traffic at all times until today. Today, East-West Highway is the only road between state of Kelantan and Perak, acting as an important link for the East Coast and the West Coast. Series of improvements have been added to improve the driving experience in the highway. First, numerous overtaking lanes were added since steep gradient caused the heavy vehicles to move painfully slow, causing traffic congestion in the middle of the mountains. 2 half tunnels were built at landslide-prone areas. Wikipedia, why one only? When was the last time this Wikipedia has been updated? Together with the increasing traffic, rest areas have been built both by local authorities and by private. Titiwangsa Rest Area, roughly located on the midpoint of the highway, is a privately owned rest stop with refreshments and small shops. No petrol station here, by the way. The bridges between Banding Islands are constructed in half. There is a space for 2 more lanes just in case if the highway needs a widening. It is assumed that in the future the bridge could be widened into 4 lanes when there is more traffic in the future. However, the possibility of adding 2 lanes in the future might need extra precaution, as the supported additional lanes will be as narrow as the existing lanes of the bridge. Eco Viaduct was constructed near Air Banun to allow wildlife to cross the road without hindrances to the traffic. Elsewhere, the wildlife such as elephant and tigers will cross the road, causing all the vehicles to stop. Some legacies of the original highway remain, such as security checkpoints at either ends of the highway manned by the police instead of the army. In some parts of the highway, there are ruins of pillboxes that are no longer in use by the military, a remnant of the difficult road construction in a turbulent time for the sake of a peaceful present. If you want to drive on the East-West Highway, the road starts in Jeli on the eastern side and Greek on the western side. There might be wild animals such as elephants and tigers nearby or crossing the road. Keep the distance from them and do not honk or flash in the light to the animals. There is no petrol station between Jeli and Lebe Rest Area, about 110 km of distance. Other than private vehicles, several bus lines serving Penang, Kedah, Perak and Kelantan states use the highway as part of their route. Make sure your car and yourself is on the best condition. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new about East-West Highway and the importance of building a road for the military together with building a road for diplomacy. Thank you so much for watching again, and see you in the next video.